So the Oculus got some great reveals today, and we know more about the consumer-driven part of it than ever before, but Oculus came out with Microsoft support and no games to announce. The controller looks amazing, but it won't ship. It ships with an Xbox One controller. Basically, the announcement was that, hey, this peripheral's going to come out. There's no software to play on it as of yet because we're offering $10 million to indie devs to make games for it. We're not confident in the input because the input's going to be a standard controller you've always known. We're just going to throw a fucking TV on your face. We don't have the technology ready, which is shorthand for Project Morpheus is ready before we are, and we are simply scrambling to make a similar launch window. Add to that the fact that the Oculus Rift is touted to work only with PCs that are, much better than average. So most people are going to have, that are mainstream anyway, that want to use it, are going to have to invest in a PC, as quoted in a recent news article, about $1,500. That's a huge investment. So devs not only have to worry about the roulette they're playing with a PC game to begin with, because let's face it, PC gaming, although it has a hardcore audience, when you're introducing an entirely new display style and control scheme into something that it's just an untested market, on top of the fact you've got PC gaming, now you won't even have a unified platform to work with. Whereas with Morpheus, arguably it's a better display based upon the available specs so far. It's a unified platform, and the input is already more or less figured out with Move. Granted, Move has had its issues in the past, but at least it's something that they're married to, and they understand that the input aspect of things is really important. And I think that, once again, Sony is going to swoop in and be able to say all the right things. Whether it is true or not isn't even important at the moment. I do feel that whatever Sony says is going to be conservative. They've been playing Project Morpheus very close to the heart. I think that they're going to win that war too. I get war, They're going to win that sales competition as well. Because think about it. Think of all the PS4s that are out in the wild right now. And anyone who's been on the fence about dipping into VR is going to go, well, if I buy a PS4 and a Project Morpheus, whatever they end up calling it, I know that if the Project Morpheus is a dud, I still got a PS4. And yeah, you could make the same argument for a PC, but I don't know that people are going to delve into that too much. And the kind of graphics cards they're talking about the Oculus Rift, I'm not sure if that's going to be feasible either. There's a lot of uncertainties in this market. This is all untested waters with this type of peripheral, because this does look like legitimate virtual reality hardware is going to be available to the consumer for the first time. And I was really hoping for an even-steven competition, but it looks like Oculus is coming out under the pressure of consumer release rather than being ready. Morpheus just seems to be more on the ball. They've been courting developers with fanatic fervor. They've been, conservative until they felt they were ready. I just think, at least from a perspective, analysis, they just appear more ready, even though Oculus may have been under development a similar amount of time. Although, unless I'm mistaken, Morpheus and Oculus are right in the same realm, and Morpheus might even have come first. But I don't think that influenced Oculus. I'm not saying that. I simply feel that the consumer is going to ultimately win in a battle where these three titans, if you consider it's Microsoft and Facebook, Sony. And this is interesting too. Look at the share button for the PlayStation 4 integrates with Facebook. Facebook owns Oculus, and they're partnering with Microsoft to ship out the Xbox One controllers. Now, we don't know how deep this integration goes. I don't think that the Morpheus is going to work with Xbox One. If it does, that negates a lot of my argument, and part of me kind of hopes that they manage to pull that off. I honestly think that it would be a better move for the Oculus, but given that on the whole, the Xbox One has less graphical producing power than the PS4, at least based on the current firmware. That's like, ugh. So the Oculus Rift has a much higher uphill battle to climb. It's a much steeper journey, and I'm worried about it. But at the same time, this is kind of how I thought it was going to go. I was just hoping they had something else up their sleeve, which they don't appear to at this time, based upon the available reveal. The controllers they revealed, the motion controllers, they look great, but they're not shipping with the headset. That means that now you're paying devs to develop for a system that you say these are great controllers, but they're not ready yet, and we cannot guarantee everyone's going to have them. Like, you're shooting yourself in the foot over and over and over. So if the Oculus announces to ship with Move controllers, like, game over. You've already gone more virtual reality than Oculus, just by virtue of the consumer offering. Are you serious? So it's pre-E3. A lot of folks try to get the scoop by putting out news prior to E3, and this clearly was what this was an attempt to do. And just like Microsoft a couple years ago with the Xbox One and their DRM policy shift, they may have just shit the bed with Oculus too. I hope the competition breeds consumer advocacy. I hope that the VR market gets cleaned up and things become a lot more transparent for the consumer, because right now, the only game in town, if you're a consumer that doesn't understand the technology, is going to be Project Morpheus. It's easy to understand. Buy this, plug it into your PS4, we'll give you everything you need. As of now, that's what it appears to be. I hope that we get a wider array of options in terms of software, in terms of something that people can latch on to. But I think this technology is here to stay. I just don't want to see a rocky launch. So, what do you guys think? Tell me below. Is Project Morpheus going to be something that, just because of the consumer-based aspect of it, is going to succeed? Might it make a big splash and Oculus slowly catches up with firmware updates and controller revisions? Or is this bound to be a very even-steven kind of fight a la Xbox and Sony for the most part? I don't know. You tell me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, click that subscribe button. If you liked the video, tell me by liking the video. Do something to give me feedback so I know what's going to make you guys happy, because I'm here to entertain you. But as always, keep on grinding. Cheers.